are hospitals, places where life begins, and sometimes ends in a way far worse than death. Beelitz-Heilstätten, once a sanctuary for healing, now a rotting corpse of a building, filled with echoes of the past, forgotten spirits, and the occasional lunatic who never got the memo that visiting hours are over. Oh, and did I mention, a certain failed Austrian painter turned dictator once laid in one of its beds. But that's just the beginning. What if I told you this place is also home to brutal murders, satanic rituals, and one of Germany's most horrifying serial killers? Tonight, dear mortals, we step into the blood-stained corridors of Beelitz-Heilstätten, a place where death isn't just a possibility, it's a promise.
In 1898, as tuberculosis ravaged Germany, the government needed a large-scale treatment facility. Beelitz-Heilstätten was built as a state-of-the-art sanatorium, featuring spacious halls, sunlight-flooded rooms, and a sprawling forest setting, all believed to aid recovery. The hospital grew into a massive medical complex spanning over 60 buildings and 200 hectares, designed to house and treat thousands of patients at a time. For years, it operated as a beacon of hope for the sick. But war was looming, and soon, its halls would be filled with a very different kind of patient. In 1914, the outbreak of World War I transformed Beelitz-Heilstätten into a military hospital for wounded German soldiers. One of those soldiers was a young corporal named Adolf Hitler, who was injured at the Battle of the Somme in 1916. He was treated at Beelitz for severe leg wounds and temporary blindness from a mustard gas attack. Some believe this hospital stay played a pivotal role in shaping his extremist ideology, as he was exposed to propaganda and radical nationalism during his recovery. During World War II, Beelitz became a Nazi military hospital, treating wounded SS officers and high-ranking officials. Medical experiments on prisoners were rumored to have taken place within its walls, though no official records exist. Then, in 1945, the Soviets arrived, and everything changed. When the Red Army seized Berlin in 1945, Beelitz-Heilstätten became a Soviet military hospital, one of the largest outside the USSR. For the next 50 years, it was off-limits to German citizens, operating as a self-contained Russian enclave within Germany. Only Soviet officers, soldiers, and their families were treated here. Rumors spread that the Soviets conducted classified medical experiments on captured German prisoners and defectors. Some claim that dismembered bodies were secretly buried in the surrounding forests. The Soviets finally withdrew in 1995, leaving Beelitz to decay, a rotting time capsule of Soviet occupation. But as the military moved out, something else moved in. As Beelitz-Heilstätten fell into decay, it became a magnet for urban explorers, vandals, and occultists. In the early 2000s, police discovered evidence of satanic rituals in the hospital's basement levels. Animal bones, pentagrams, and melted black candles littered the operating rooms. Some believe these rituals stirred something within Beelitz, something that had been waiting. Visitors report hearing whispers in Russian and German when no one else is there, seeing shadowy figures in the windows of locked buildings, feeling watched as if something unseen follows them through the halls. But the true horror came in 2008. In 2008, a 26-year-old woman named Anya P. met Michael F., a photographer who lured her to Beelitz-Heilstätten for an artistic photo shoot. But Michael had no intention of taking pictures. He bludgeoned her with a frying pan, then strangled her to death, dragging her body into the basement. Her corpse was found posed in a ritualistic manner, surrounded by candles and cryptic symbols drawn in her own blood. Michael was later caught and convicted, but to this day, no one knows why he staged her body in such a gruesome way. Beelitz was no stranger to killers. Between 1989 and 1991, a German serial killer known as the Beast of Beelitz, Wolfgang Schmidt, murdered 6 women and a 3-month-old baby in the nearby forest. His crimes were ritualistic, involving strangulation, mutilation, and disturbing staging of the bodies. Schmidt was finally caught in 1991 and sentenced to life in prison, but many believe he wasn't working alone. Today, Beelitz-Heilstätten is one of Germany's most haunted locations. Visitors report shadowy figures moving in the windows. Disembodied voices call out from the empty halls. EVP recordings captured the words, "Leave now," in Russian. Some believe the spirits of the Soviet soldiers, Nazi officers, and murdered victims still roam the halls.
Hospitals are supposed to heal, but Beelitz-Heilstätten, it never really let anyone go. Hitler, the Soviets, the Beast of Beelitz, the photographers who never came back, and some places don't just collect history, they devour it. So if you ever visit Beelitz, just remember, some patients never leave, and neither will you.